They say water remembers. In the ghost town of Candler's Reach, tucked in the flood-prone basins of the Appalachian backwoods, the earth holds secrets not even drought can dry. The town is little more than cracked pavement and moss-choked ruins now, but at its heart remains the old church well, sealed with rusted iron and chained like a beast meant never to be freed. Locals once whispered of its thirst, how the water never rose, no matter the rainfall, and how animals that drank from it were found days later, bloated, eyeless, with their bodies warped like half-melted wax. Generations ago, before the last townsfolk abandoned Candler's Reach, stories spread of people who vanished during heavy storms, dragged screaming toward the well by something they swore wasn't human. Even now, decades after its abandonment, the air around the church ruins carries a humid chill that doesn't match the season, and the sound of trickling water can be heard, faint, rhythmic, like something breathing through the stones. Locals call it the Thirsting Hollow, a name passed from trembling lips and half-forgotten sermons. The creature, if one can call it that, is less a beast and more a wound in the world, a living sinkhole of limbs and tongues and withered eyes, pulsing just beneath the soil like a buried heart. It doesn't hunt in the traditional sense. It waits. It listens. It mimics the drip of rainfall to soothe its prey, pulling in the desperate, the grieving, the curious. It drinks not just water, but grief, blood, and the raw echoes of loss that people carry. Survivors, rare as they are, claim to have seen it rise during floods, a towering silhouette formed from black mud, its bones like sharpened roots and its face a twisting mass of orphaned mouths. One woman, a volunteer rescuer after a flash flood in 1981, swore she saw a child's arm reaching from beneath the well, clutching her pant leg as if begging. She pulled back. The arm was not attached to anything. It dissolved in the water like sugar, and the well exhaled. What makes the Thirsting Hollow so terrifying is not just what it is, but what it remembers. It takes what you want to forget, losses, sins, buried memories, and returns them twisted, louder, more present. A boy who lost his mother to drowning in 1996 visited the ruins a decade later with friends. The group reported him acting strangely, whispering to the mud, calling it Ma. He was last seen kneeling at the well's edge during a light drizzle. Only his jacket was recovered, soaked through and heavy with silt, as if buried for years. His phone, recovered weeks later downstream, contained audio files filled with static, broken lullabies, and the gurgling sound of someone crying underwater. The Thirsting Hollow does not roam. It waits where it was born, beneath the blood-soaked stones of the drowned chapel, feeding on whatever leaks through cracks in the psyche. The terrain around the well is unpredictable, reshaping with the seasons. New sinkholes appear and vanish overnight, and strange fungal growths bloom in symbols that mimic ancient runes or mourning faces. Birds avoid the area. Even insects don't survive long. Some say the entity is not one, but many. Generations of grief-bound souls merged into one parasitic intelligence, forever hungry for emotional residue. Paranormal researchers have tried to study the zone, but electronics die within 100 feet. Batteries drain, lenses fog, and microphones record only the sound of heartbeat-like thudding. In 2005, a deep-sounding probe deployed into the well recorded over 5 hours of rhythmic breathing and low-frequency sobbing, followed by a guttural voice saying, "I drank the rain she died in." The probe was never retrieved. The creature is both cryptid and concept, a fluid predator built of mourning, water, and the human instinct to revisit what hurt us. In its presence, reality becomes porous. Time loops. One man claimed to see himself standing on the opposite side of the well, soaked and smiling with hollow eyes. When he blinked, the figure was gone. But the handprints on the stones remained, too large to be his. The legend goes further, that the well is a mouth, and the chapel ruins are the ribs of something ancient, buried after a ritual went wrong during the town's founding. A cult called the Drowned Choir is whispered about in old records, families who worshipped the mouth below, offering tears and pain to keep it sated. When the offerings stopped, the floods began, and then the disappearances. Urban explorers today occasionally brave the well, documenting their visits online, but footage always cuts short, distorted by static and a wet knocking sound, like knuckles on soaked wood. The last known visitor was a woman named Elise Marin, whose video titled "One Night in Candler AS Reach" captured faint voices calling her name in the rain. In the final frame, she smiles strangely at the camera and whispers, "I found her." She had no missing relatives. Her body has never been recovered. Locals say the hollow grows stronger with memory, expanding its reach every time someone speaks its name with belief. It lives not just in Candler's Reach now, but in the places grief festers and goes unspoken. A crack in a basement wall that drips despite no pipes nearby. A sink that gurgles with laughter during a thunderstorm. A puddle that reflects a sky too dark for the hour. These are the signs. These are its seeds. The thirsting hollow drinks what the earth cannot hold, and grief, like water, always finds a way through.